Well, imagine your loved one nearing the final stages of life and that person's guardian denying you the opportunity to visit.
Well, that's what a Genesee County family is going through, and legally there's nothing they can do about it.
But legislation inspired by the dispute involving radio icon Casey Kasem's family may change that.
TV5's Meg McLeod explains in this I-Team report.
This isn't Cuba.
I've done so many things. I mean, I've started businesses, I've traveled, I've seen like 30 of the 50 states. I'm at a really cool point in my life, you know, to have my grandpa, who is literally my best friend. That would be awesome.
Growing up, you hardly ever saw Stephen Grzymkowski without his partner in crime, his grandfather, Bruce Coverdale. His grandpa bought him his first car, was there for his first Halloween, and was always up for hanging out with his first grandchild.
I mean, I was like his little trophy thing. It was awesome.
But in 2008, just as Stephen was becoming a teenager, his grandfather suffered a debilitating stroke. Stephen says his family could never have imagined the anguish that followed.
It's the most awful, wretched thing that I've ever experienced in my whole life.
Stephen says the only thing worse than seeing his grandfather, his hero, suffer was watching his family be torn apart.
It's horrible. And it's horrible for us, but it's even more horrible for my dad.
Chris Grzymkowski says what started as a dispute over her father's care got so ugly, his second wife, who is his legal guardian, barred her from seeing him, triggering a nearly 10-year legal battle, a battle that still weighs on Stephen.
It breaks my heart to watch how it's affected my family financially, emotionally.
But just this year, their hopes were renewed when the daughter of a celebrity with a similar story joined their fight.
I'm Casey Kasem, and here we go.
In February, the daughter of Michigan native and radio icon Casey Kasem came to Michigan to introduce the visitation bill, Kasem Cares. Carrie Kasem presented it to the Senate Judiciary Committee, which passed it unanimously. The Kasem Cares bill was created after Carrie and her siblings had a very public battle to see their father during his final days.
No child deserves to go through what I'm going through, and no loving parent deserves to be left alone to die.
Kasem Cares ensures that even if a guardian or power of attorney blocks someone from seeing their loved one, that person can then ask a judge for permission to visit.
So many people wrote me saying, I'm in the same situation, please help me.
The bill was first introduced in California, Carrie's home state, but she refused to stop there.
I can't just change the law in California. I've got to do this for all 50 states. I've got to help these people, because if I don't, who is? Who's going to?
Michigan is one of several states where once you turn 18, you have no legal right to visit an ailing loved one in an assisted living facility or a residential home unless you're designated power of attorney or guardian. But State Senator Jim Marleau is spearheading the effort to change that by passing Kasem Cares in Lansing. He says it will help families avoid lengthy and expensive legal battles and force guardians to prove a family member would present a danger before being able to block them from visiting. Marleau says it all boils down to one simple principle.
It's just trying to be able to allow family to be with family, and that's the simplest way of putting it.
Grandpa.
The thought of being able to be a family again has Stephen and his mother thinking about all of the catching up they'll have to do.
Can't make up for it, but we can, make his life better.
Chris says she doesn't know how much longer her father will be around, but she prays whatever time he does have left can be filled with family who love and miss him very much.
This would mean
Everything.
We did attempt to reach out to Bruce Coverdale's wife, but to no avail. Versions of the Kasem Cares bill have already passed in 10 states, and it's been sponsored in 11 others, including here in Michigan. Senator Marleau is hopeful it will be passed in Michigan this year. In the studio, I'm Meg McLeod for WNEM TV5.